Okay. We're at the Mishnah. So ironically enough, this Mishnah we learned this morning in the Bavli. It's not the same. It's the Bavli quoted this Mishnah this morning. Not that we're caught up. Make a lot of noise. Make a lot of noise. I think I need a new one. All right, the Chemishiyatza, Yerushalmi. Somebody left Yerushalmi. V'nizkar shesh b'yoda basar kodesh, and he remembers that he has holy meat from a korban in his hand. If he passed Mount Scopus, he burns it wherever he is. If not, close of a server comes back and burns it in front of the base of Mikdash Me'atzah Ma'arocha from the wood of the Mizbeach. Akamim Chosim. How large is a piece of meat be in order to require a person to come back? So Rabbi Meir Omer Zebezebe Kazayis. Meir says the piece of meat over here and the shiur for which you will have to go back if it's chametz on Pesach in order to burn it. Both of them is a kazayis. If you forgot your chametz at home like the previous Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda Meir Zebezebe Kebetza, the shiur is Kebetza. For holy meat, you go back from korban, you go back for kazayis. The chametz kebetza, for chametz you go back for kebetza. Says Gemara, Rabbi Simon b'shem Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says, Ksiv it says, Bayomo yam metzilos hasus kodesh v'gomer. And that day there's going to be on the reflections of the horse, or on the shadow of a horse, kodesh, etc. What do we learn from there? Amogam shasus ratz ve'ino osatzel. Yerushalayim will expand to the point that a horse can run from morning until the place where it reaches and no longer makes a shadow, which is minware, which is high noon. So Lasi Lavo, that'll be the place which the end of Yerushalayim is, and not Mount Scopus like it says here, but rather Yerushalayim will extend that far as kind of like it is today. Ashura Bar Yitzchak boy, he asked like this: Im Kodeshu, I don't understand. Now, there are a lot of Yerushim is going to learn, like Lehman brings down the name of the near. He says, Im Kodeshu, if up to Tzofim, up to Mount Scopus is holy, it's still considered part of Yerushalayim, it's a Feder Mikomo. So why do you have to go back to Yerushalayim or to burn it? Burn wherever you are regardless, because we see it up to Tzofim has the parameter of Yerushalayim. Says more no. Shekena feel Yerushalayim. Even when in Yerushalayim proper, serving also lifnei abir me'atzah ma'arocha, you have to go back and burn it in front of the base of Mikdash from the wood. So therefore, certainly when you're outside Yerushalayim proper, when you're between Yerushalayim and Mount Scopus, you have to go back and burn it in the base of in Yerushalayim in front of the base of Mikdash. Hahen yotzei mat avidlon. Now this yotzei, what's it, the stuff which left to Yerushalayim? What is it like? Ma'atavile means what do you compare it to? Kimatami b'chutz, like something which came to me outside the Beis HaMikdash, or kimatami b'fnim, like something which became to me inside the Beis HaMikdash. Rabbi Yisrael said, "Mikayim v'shnim apostle machmas mekomo." Since it's psul, is because it left its original place. So therefore, nasa kimatami b'chutz. Therefore, its status is if it became tamei outside the Beis HaMikdash, and therefore you don't bring it back into the Azor in order to burn it. You burn it in the Harabais from the Ma'atzei Ma'arocha, but you don't bring it actually back into the Azor. Rabbi Yisrael Rabun said, Toru divrei Torah. Midoraisa, this stuff is Torah. Midoraisa, Yotzei is not tamei at all. It's not tamei. Midoraisa, it's just Yotzei. Left the base, left the proper precincts. You're the one who considers it tummy. Lo dayacha, it's not sufficient. Shegazatu of tuma, they made tummy. El shahad mevakesh la'asoso kimatayim achutz. You want to make it as if he came tummy outside base on Mikdash? You can't go that far. If name until like it became tummy inside the base of Mikdash, and therefore you're allowed to bring it back into the Azor in order to burn it. You don't have to burn it outside the Azor B'dafka. Okay, again, Yotze is not really tummy. We gave it a status of tummy, but it's not really tummy. So we even bring it back into the Azor in order to burn it. Okay. Okay. Istani Tani it worked. Istani Tani Umachlif. For those who switch, Rameh and Rabbi Yehuda and our Mishnah. Rabbi Yaakov Barach B'Shem Rabbi Yossi said Kamas Nisan, Rameh and Rabbi Yehuda should not be switched from Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda said, Simona, I'll give you a proof they don't switch it. May I heed the broches for that which it says in brachos. Yeah. For the brachos, Akama Mizamnin, how much you have to eat in order to bench, literally make a zimun. Rabbi Yehuda Kabetza, the shiur is Kabetza, like he says over here, the shiur of meat which becomes with left Yerushalmi is Kabetza, and shiur Chametz Kabetza, and so because that's the old shiur benching is in brachos. Whereas Rabbi Meir holds that it's kazayis, just like he holds over there by brachos. Time we learn pachas mikan ema trichel of sheyachzir. If it's less than that, we don't make him go back. Now, ask the Gemara, ma bin zelozeh. I don't understand what the difference is between, according to Rabbanan, between chometz and between what? Chometz and korban, yes. By chometz, you go back even for kazayis, said Rabbanan, right? The opposite. By Basa Kodesh you go back for a Kazayis, by Chometz you go back for a Kabetza. Why are we more Mako by Chometz? So it says more the obvious answer. Zeh yesh lo bittul. By Chometz anyway can be Mavatul it. So as long as it's smaller than a Kabetza, we'll let you get away with bittul. Akadum Basa Kodesh, Chometz minayin. Now, this I'm going to learn this like the Meicha Mayim learns, the Aruch HaShulchan, and Lieberman also learns this way. Well, I understand that according to Rabbi Yehuda, who says that Basa Kodesh and Chometz are Kabetza, so I understand Basa Kodesh is Kabetza. Because that could be, since Basa Kodesh is a din achila, Tumas Ochlin is in a Kabetza, what's Matam is Kabetza, so therefore here, in this V'yoytze, which they made similar to Tum, but also the shiur is Kabetza. However, Chometz B'nayit. Chometz, Rabbi Yehuda said also you have to go back for a Kabetza, not less. But at what stage you transgress by Roah by a Matzah, even on a Kazayis? So why don't you have to go back for Kazayis? So it's not to transgress by Roah by a Matzah. So that's more on Rabbi Yisrael Boon. And the truth is we don't have a good answer. We really just gave a tactical answer. Since the Mishnayos say, and so too somebody went to Yerushalmi, it's just like Chometz, Hadam Rav, and this we say, the Nafal a day, whatever is true by one, is true by the other. Right? And so that to both be a Kabetza. But that's just, of course, the technical answer. So what? But it's not, shouldn't be that way, because by Rabbi Matzah kicks in the Gazais. So the Meicha Mayim says that there must be something wrong with the Gemara. Because obviously the Gemara must, in order to draw this distinction, note that there's a difference between Chometz for Bittul is relevant and Korbanos for Bittul is not relevant. But the Gemara brought that down before. So he tries to play with the order in the Gemara and get that to come out, that part and parcel of the answer Rabbi Yehuda, why Rabbi Yehuda requires a Kabetza in order to go back by Korban and by Chometz. He doesn't say you have to go back for Kazayis of Chometz. Has something to do with the fact that there's Bittul as well, which makes sense, of course. Okay? So therefore, if he's Meiko by Chometz, up to a Kabetza. Alright? Says the Gemara further. Mishnah further. Makam Shnagu Lasos Malacha Hachal Perik Velu Ovrin. New Perik. Makam Shnagu Lasos Malacha Arvei Pesachim Ad Chatzos. A place they have the custom to do Malacha on Erev Pesach until midday. Osim. They're allowed to do so. Makam Shnagu Shalasos is a place that the minig is not to do work. In the first half of the day, Ein Osim. You do not do work. Halach Makam Shosim Makam Shein Osim. Somebody goes to a place where you do work, to a place where they do not do work. Only Malkum Shein Malkum Shosim, a place where they do not do work, to a place where they do work. No slav Chumri HaMalkum Shein Misham against Chumri to the place which he left. The Chumri HaMalkum Shein and Chumri to the place where he's going. Because the person should never change because that causes machlokas. So never go against the grain of the community in which you find yourself. Now, of course, nowadays we don't pay attention. This is an archaic halacha, but once upon a time there was such a halacha on the books, right?
Especially when in Rome, do as the Romans.
Yes. Okay, nowadays we hold when Rome do as in they do in Bnei Brak. It's the clarion call of our generation. Okay, Ksiv. It says, Shoptis Bachsa Pesach Be'erev. There you should sacrifice Pesach in the evening. Ainli Elahu. I only know that you're allowed to sacrifice. Shluchim and I know you can send your agent to shech for you. Tamlo v'shalta v'achalta. So Pasuk says, you only have to cook and eat. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. So that means you send your Korban Pesach itself by a shliach as long as you cook and eat it. Matam lomar shomtis b'achsa Pesach be'erev. What does it mean that there you should sacrifice the Pesach in the evening? Now, the Lieberman says he does not understand the drasha the Gemara is about to make. So let me give you my version of it, which perhaps is palatable. There it says we know every time Yerushalmi brings down part of pasuk, we have to look beyond the pasuk to see sometimes the proof. So here too it says Shatis Basa Pesach Ba'erev. They should sacrifice Pesach in the evening. Kivua Shemesh, when the evening is going down. Mo'ed Seischa Mitzrayim, the time when you left Egypt. So the Shaila is why there the pasuk uses the language Mo'ed. Mo'ed means the Yontif, but the Yontif of Pesach ain't starting till tomorrow, right? So then that the Gemara says, it's not proper for you to be involved in your work of a korban chokar while your korban is being sacrificed. Aval asu milasos melacha. And rather they asked Rabbanan asked to do malacha. Because it's not a true drasha, but it's an asmachta. In other words, it's Erev Pesach after Chatzos is like a moed, and Rabbanan, where it goes around it that you shouldn't be able to do work then. Right? Abu also says malacha, the time, like we learned, the time they learned over there in Chagiga, Kol inish di'avi olei ilave oinu bikurin. Any person who has the covenant upon him the chiyuv that day to bring wood for the Beis HaMikdash or bikurim to the Beis HaMikdash or Omer Elai Harei Eitzim. Harei Elai Eitzim is the best. So he says, I want to bring wood to Mizbeach because and chops of wood for the flame. Also, all these guys and the guys are bringing bikurim. Also, behesped of a tinus. They're forbidden to make a hesped, a eulogy, or a tinus. Or, for that matter, what's critical to us, they're not allowed to malacha bo bayom. So I don't get it. Why over here we only makbid for 6 hours and on? We should care the entire day. The entire day a guy should be allowed to do malacha because we see here that whenever a guy brings the korban, you don't do malacha, right? I mean, you don't, let me just clarify. You don't do malacha meaning work. You're not talking about Melechas Shabbos, right? You have to do all sorts of Melech, just not allowed to work, right? So it says, any korban you bring here. On Rav Yerushalmi said, whoa, 1 second. Rav Yerushalmi said, Elaine Tmidim, korban says, Shko Yisrael Yinu. Tmidim are the korbanos of all of Am Yisrael. What do we draw a conclusion from that?
You should say that everybody should.
Nobody should work ever.
I like that idea.
I'm very machmir on that.
You said Bnei Brak before. So.
Right. So, you should know, in Bnei Brak they work more than Yerushalmi.
That's just...
Yes.
Everything's relative, huh?
Yeah. Sure. Right. I think probably percentage is higher, because the Yerushalmi have a very high percentage of Hasidim who don't... They're supported, but Bnei Brak doesn't work that way. So, have you ever been in Bnei Brak?
Not for Shabbos.
It's very nice to walk down. You were there for Purim? What were you doing in Bnei Brak? That was part of your Purim experience. Did you dress up like a... Yeah, you dress up like a native?
He went like that.
Yeah.
That was his costume. I made a mistake of driving. It was the worst.
I'm sure it's worse day to try.
It's one one massive traffic jam. It's very nice.
Yeah. It's very nice. I mean, it's not pretty, but the Rechov Rabbi Akiva is a very nice street. It's nice. All right. We don't have streets like that in Chutz La'aretz. Not even in Borough Park. Says a word further. Now he makes it even worse. He says, "In here is like hachi. Should all of Am so go up to Yerushalayim every day for the carbon tummy because it's their carbon, right? So obviously not. It doesn't. It say only 3 times a year come up. And if you should all of Am Yisrael sit and not work every day? Can't be how to make a living." Is going to gather the grain. Now, Lamaisa, though, on the other end, it's your carbon. Anytime you have a carbon, you have some malach the entire day, right? So, out of record, Nevi'im are showing the first prophets made Takara. At Srimvar Mishmaros, there are 44 Mishmaros of Kohanim, right? 1 a week. I'll call Mishmar, Oimed Yerushalayim. In every Mishmar, there was a Maimad Yerushalayim. Here it's called an Oimed, right? What? Which one? V'sat Ganecha? Yeah. You like that one, huh? All right. So, that's what he said. So it's a Maimad. We learned about this already several times in the Bavli. They used to have a Maimad, people who stood over the carbon, Yerushalayim Shekayim Shalvim Israelim. Tani we learned Esrim Va'el Arba Elef. The Maimad was made up of 24,000 people. What came to my mind when I read that, even me, because it sounds like the capacity of capacity like a basketball arena or hockey stadium. 24,000. So I actually had 24,000 spectators. I see how much I've been influenced by learning with you guys. So I was out there, 24,000 spectators who came to view the carbon every day. Okay, that was the crowd which came. And the Kohanim Levim Yisraelim. Simbar Elv is actually a pasuk somewhere in Divrei Yomim. Yeah, there were spectators. Amud. No, Simvar Elv, period. Amud Yerushalayim. 1 Amud from Yerushalayim. Now, it doesn't make clear what that means. Obviously, the whole thing is called Amud, right? So it seems like it means 12,000 of them came from Yerushalayim. V'chatzi am Yericho, and 6,000 from Yericho. And 6,000 from the rest of the country. Okay? And after Yericho, even Yericho could have produced 12,000 people to contribute to this crowd. But in order to give cover to Yerushalayim, they would only donate 6,000 people. You ordered them in advance from Ticketmaster. Okay. Yericho had a lot of Kohanim who lived in Yericho. A lot of Kohanim lived in Yericho. No, that was based by Yericho. Shoal destroyed Nov, remember? Yeah. Yericho used to be a lot of people used to live in Yericho. A lot of the Kohanim and stuff. I guess the housing was cheaper there. It's like living in Ma'ale Adumim nowadays. So they used to live down in Yericho.
So I guess for the Bayis Shlishi, they're going to have to divide out.
What? Right. So right now they have it. No, look. It was made of Kohanim Levim Yisraelim. Kohanim Lavoda, the Kohanim become portion of the Maimon do Lavoda. Halavim would do Duchan, they would sing. Yisrael Mochicha of Yisrael, the Yisrael would stand there. They would actually be the spectators. So I guess, it was 8,000. It was like a minor league game. So there are 8,000 Kohanim working, 8,000 Levim singing, and 8,000 Israeli marching the festivities. And they are mochich that such a shluchim shekol Yisrael. Their being there would demonstrate that they are the shluchim of Am Yisrael to stand on this corporate for that day. Okay? Tanya Rav Shimon Elazar Omer, Shimon Elazar says, learns a parallel sugya, Kohanim, Levim, Yisraelim, Bashir, Makfinas, Korban. You have to have Kohanim, Levim, Yisraelim, and they have to sing. Immediately precludes all the litvaks. Rav Shimon Elazar said, Time Rav Shimon Elazar, the reason Rav Shimon Elazar is, Kol Kol Mishtachvim Elu Yisrael. The entire congregation will bow down. That's the Israelim, the other Shvatim. Vashir Mishorer, the song will sing El Levim, that's the Levim. And Chatzos Mechatrim, and the trumpets will blast. Those are the Kohanim. Only Kohanim could blow trumpets. Hakol ad l'chlosa ola. All this takes place till the end of the ola, meaning the korban tamid. Hakol makar is korban, no impediments for the korban, no necessary for the korbanos. Right, Tanchum Hashem Elazar said, Shomalei Minadah. Here are the same cuts from here. I'm going to give Levim down his kids out of from amidst the Jews. Levim, that refers to Levim. In the camp of the meeting, that refers to Kohanim. And to atone Abnei Yisrael. Zeh HaShir. That's the song. Because Kapara is by singing. And the Jews should not be inflicted when coming to the Kodesh improperly. Elu Yisrael, those are the Yisrael themselves. Minayin Shashir Kohui Kapara. Oh, sure. No. They're just not chatzotzos. That's still part of the avodah. No, but they also played other musical instruments, but they didn't. Yeah, that part, but not the chatzotzos. Okay. I know the song is essential. Right, it's good. I know that the song is part of the kapara. So Chinavoid Rabbi Yiftach Yentech. The Shem Rabbi B'noya said, "Uchaper b'nei Yisrael zeh hashir." Because it says to atone for the Jews, that's the shir, and that was part and parcel of the deal. Ra'arei Pischi. Why?
Except the Siddur should have
They would say it's essential when there's a Beis Hamikdash and there are karbanos.
But it's Vilna the karbanos. It's substitute for the
Who's actually grinding this evening?
What's that?
Who's actually grinding? Which yeshivas don't sing?
We didn't have any of this in the Bible.
No.
There is sources in the prior page. You can sort of quote some stuff from the Titus.
Yeah, they're fragments, but not about Maimonis there is. Yeah.
Yericho stuff, that's not, remember that from the Bible?
No, it's not Bible. Minay Shashir Maki, how do we know that shir is required to achieve kapara? Reb Shim Beluta B'Shem Chanina said, "U'chaper b'nei Yisrael zeh shir." It says Chaper b'nei Yisrael, that song, and it seems that indicates that that's kapara. If that's kapara, it's obviously essential because all karbanos are supposed to affect the kapara. Harei pischi harei karbanos shekol Yisraelu. Ask the Gemara, I don't understand something. Pesach is the korban of all Am Yisrael, right? So if that's the case, they should all be osir. How do we know they should from the morning, right? The Torah is so minig, and they allowed it to be a minig. In other words, that in the morning it's up to the minig on makom. Should all be osir everywhere because Pesach is a korban of all Am Yisrael. They'll all bring it today. So Amrei Voshani Ushein Pesach Korban Elam Sheish Osel Mala. Pesach is different because the Pesach can only be brought in the afternoon. So therefore it's barred from being part of parts of the morning. That's why the morning is considered like a separate day vis-a-vis Korban Pesach. Okay? Rabbi Avo asked, Amar Harei Ola Mishosh Osel Mala. If a person said, I want to bring an Ola from 6 hours and beyond, so perhaps you're allowed to do Melacha before the 6 hours, before noon, because afternoon seems like a new cloud starts. So says the Gemara, no, that I skipped. Yeah. What did I skip?
I'm a Rabbi Yosef. That's not Shakir Bashan.
Oh, I went back. No, I went back. By the dot, about 5 lines on top of that. You see that? Mirror of line? I'm Rabbi Avo. It's basically we brought 6 hour on. So that's why we do not,
Where you can work until
right. We don't not make a word for it. I'm Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Avo boy. Rabbi asks, if a person says on a regular day, I want to bring an oil, but only this afternoon. Is that the malacha from earlier in the day? So it doesn't make sense really that you're saying that.
maybe it does make sense. When you bring the carbon, that's when you can't work anymore. But until then,
Okay, we learned before that by a regular carbon it is all day. Oh, so that's why the difference. I see supporting. He's not asking a question. He's supporting the answer and saying that Pesach is bedafka in the afternoon because you can't bring Pesach in the morning. Okay, very good. I'm Rabbi Yossi Pesach Shekru B'Shabbos and a Pesach. It's not about Pesach. Oil Shekru B'Shabbos, oil and oil which sacrifice on in the morning is about oil. That's a distinction in terms of work. It says Gemara, Kod Varm totally b'minhag, also minhag. Everything has to do with minhagim. For example, now, but the thing is, although everybody literally dangles, they excuse themselves by citing minhag. Not all minhagim are proper minhagim. That's what we're about to learn now. Okay, some minhagim have to be abolished. For example, it says our women, they have a minhag not to do any work Motzei Shabbos. Guess what they have to do if they have to do work? Wash the dishes. Of course they have a minhag, right? So they have a minhag not to work Motzei Shabbos. La ain't no minhag. Put them to work. And even if sidra, if however the minhag is not to do Melach Motzei Shabbos till davening is over. The Yadivta Sudra means until you finish saying Uvalat Tzion, say the Kedusha Sayom of Uvalat Tzion Goel. So until then it's not over. Another interpretation I saw is that it means that what did I put here? Yeah, Sidra means the Beis HaMikdash. Not the Beis HaKnesses. The shul. Sidra we had several times means the Beis Medrash. So it means the women don't do work until the Beis Medrash empties out. Right, so that's Tosefet Shabbos. It's not so gefährlich, but in the washing machine an hour later, or the dishwasher an hour later. But
they have to get ready for the month.
Yeah, but to do work, okay. But not to do work at all Motzei Shabbos, that's not a minhag, okay? But the women who had a minhag not to do work on, well, I don't know if it's women, it might also be men. The people who had a minhag not to work on Monday and Thursday. Because they may rachmim, you have to be marbe b'tefillah, right? The Pnei Moshe says even if they're fasting, well, the early fast for rain, they can't. Not the malacha is not a minute. Adis b'neisei ta'nesa, if you're making a kabbalah not the malacha until the fast is over, then that's a proper minute. It's a good thing. Okay. That's assuming they decree to fast, of course, that day. Yom Rovta. If a person, a woman's makabel by herself, not do any malacha on Hoshana Rabbah, the day of Arov, and her minhag, it's not about minhag. Min mincha l'mal, if she was a kabel not do any work from mincha and thereon, and Erev Yontif, and Erev Shmini Atzeres, so that's valid. What? Right, that's true. So, that's my face. I'm Rabbi Zera. Does everybody see where I'm up to? I'm slow tonight. It's a miracle I'm still awake. I'm Rabbi Zera. Zera said, Nashon, I might not be awake. Yeah.
Last line, the
Shana Rabbah. Some women had a minute not to work at all is Shana Rabbah.
That's not a good minute.
It's a minute toast, but not to work in the afternoon, that's a good minute. Okay, good. Says tomorrow, Amar Rabbi Zera, no shedidon, no shish. What? I skipped, sorry. Yom Yarchav, my minute, not to Melacha on Rosh Chodesh, that's a good minute, one of the positive minhagim women have. Amar Rabbi Zera, no shedidon, lo lishim l'mishtaye, mean to have women who... What minute? For Rosh Chodesh? I think it might be a Bavli too. I'm sorry, I think it might be in the Bavli too.
They don't do laundry.
I seem to recall that we had Rosh Chodesh in the Bavli, but maybe not. Okay, we'll be early in Pesach. Amrei Zira, Neshaya the Nagad L'Nushtaye, women are the custom now, so the minority of beings explained that it's not the drink. There's a riot for the Ashkenazim who keep at Yom Shechar Tishba from Rosh Chodesh. Not just the week of Tishba, but from Rosh Chodesh. But that's Pashas, that's not the proper Girsa. Girsa would be the proper limud would be not to weave. Shesi va'erev means weaving the warp and the woof. So here too also, Amar Rabbi Zera, Adam minchas le'el minag yom minag. Did I go back? Yeah, I went back improperly. Sorry. Wait. I'm Rabbi Zera, thank you. The shayat, the nagad lo mishtayim min the other, the minhag not to weave from Rosh Chodesh minhag. It's a good minhag. Why is that? Sheba poska average sia because of them and shisia, which was the stone in the Beis Hamikdash, was overridden by the invading forces. So therefore, it's best to not make any celebrations during that time. So my pasuk teaches this: Ki ashasos yaresu. It's not simcha. I mean, not to weave. Why is that? Because it says ashasos yaresu. We darshan that to mean that the weaves were broken. So the weavers can work in order to be misaking that, in order to rectify that, but they have to. Excuse me, I'm babbling. Let me try again. The Evan Shasiya, from there, the land was woven. Shasiya, the way the Evan Shasiya, which we learn normally to be the rock of the foundation base, Hamikdash, it's calling it. He said the Yerushalmi saying Evan Shasiya comes the language of weaving. So the whole world is woven from the Evan Shasiya point outwards, or roundabouts. So, since the world is woven from there, so therefore there's a minute which women have not to weave from Rosh Chodesh Av when the ultimate prince of the world, the Beis Hamikdash, was destroyed. And they're saying it's a good minute. Okay? Shekain Poska Evan Shasiya, Matanki Hashasi erased and the foundation is destroyed. Amar Kin said, Kol Advari Minhag. Again, the same thing before we said before. Everything is minhag. For example, in the Shitin, there were cedar trees, not the cedar, some good tree. I have a Migdat Savia. They were in Migdat Savia. Now the people Migdat Savia had a minhag not to use the trees. So there was the Kormeir brings out a medrash because these were the shitim from which Yaakov Avinu cut down shitim for the Mishkan. When he went out to Egypt, he took wood from this grove in order to make the Mishnah for Israel not to leave Egypt, so they didn't want to touch it. That's Korban Pshat. According to Pnei Moshe's Pshat, it's really it's basically the same thing. What?
Cut down the tree, or he planted trees?
Well, he cut them down then afterwards, or replanted them in Egypt.
He didn't plant it in Eretz before he left Eretz.
No. He wasn't in a big rush when he left. What? I mentioned it? We mentioned it? I don't remember. So I in the Shitin. So I just say the Lehman brings out that they say it's because of Avodah Zarah. This was the exact opposite. It wasn't used for the Mishkan, it was used for Avodah Zarah purposes. So but that there was also by Noah. So the friend of the rabbis. Can we use the Shitin for our work? So he said that since your forefathers accustomed yourself to accompany, consider them usher. Do not deviate from the minute which they instituted. Okay, so basically it comes out that to change minhagim, they're very difficult, right? Eliezer Shem Rabun said, "Kol davar she'udei she'mutar v'toebo."
He's obviously not disagreeing with the first earlier statement of the Gemara that said that some minhagim. Right,
just the general attitude towards minhagim, without the exceptions. Eliezer Shem Rabun said, "Kol davar she'eino yodei she'mutar." Anytime we don't know something is mutar. V'toebo b'isr, and he makes it also upon himself, thinking that it's not a chumrah, but rather it's the actual halacha. So Nishal is allowed to be matir neder. They matir in law. They're matir neder for him. Chodavar shiyodebo shu mutar. Anything aware which he knows is mutar. Gunoy bo isra, and he holds it to be an isra by him. Nishal, if he comes to ask, ain matir in law. We do not permit for him.
So, but the Ramban says, don't eat Shabbat.
The motion doesn't make any sense.
It does, but I'm well, let's do the concept and see if we can make it less abstract. Right? Let's say everyone said, anything which you know was mutter. The Toba basically assume it's saucer. What's a good example? Opening bottle caps on Shabbos. The plastic kind. Shlomo Zalman says for sure mutter. So you're an amach, it's like a Ovav Amisol, you think it's saucer. Not the Ovav Amisol thinks it's saucer, but you're an am, or it's like Ovav Amisol. And therefore you think it's saucer. So we're matir neder for you on that one. We allow you to wiggle out of that minute when you found out what you were tempted to be knowing was totally inaccurate, incorrect, and just a waste of time. Okay? That were matir neder.
What's the second case?
That was the first case, second case, right?
Yeah.
No, that was the first case. Kosher any of their shemuter, you don't know it's mutter. The top when you make a mistake, beser, and you think it's us, and nishavei matir lo, you can ask to be matir neder, it works. However, what if I knew it's mutter to open bottle caps, and the tough guy did open bottle caps? So that's already the type of neder we're not matir, because that's like nidrei mitzvah. You intended to a mitzvah and you knew it was just a chumrah, so why should you matir neder for you? You have to find some other circumstance to allow you to be matir neder in that case. That's what it says. Because you're maching yourself, Nishal can ask the question, Nishal ain't matir lo. If you ask the question, they don't let you get away with it. Okay? Yoshua Saf Solo. Shel Akum Shabbos. You can sit on the workbench of a guy on Shabbos, even though he sells his wares there normally. Meiser and Gamliel Shiyoshav Lo Sapsa Shakum Shabbos. So Meiser and Gamliel sat on a bench of a guy on Shabbos. Ba'ako. Amalei said, "Lo you know you can keli yisishel sapsolo shalakum b'Shabbos." Then we never had such a minhag that people would sit on goyish benches on Shabbos. Mara signed the thing he came to do business on Shabbos. Now Gamliel could of course dismiss them. Nope. The lower tzalamem mutzalas Cain didn't want to tell us what to do this. He walked away from the situation. How many daily Torah do you know? Walk away from the situation, but he walked away. Okay. My civilian bonus showing Gamliel's my side with the Yud and Hillel, the sons of Gamliel, that they came to Chutz Meretz Kavul. They came to watch. They didn't want to say it's mutter. And Nichnasu Bezachas that they went in separately. And furthermore, they once went out walking like slippers of gold. And in this place they had a minhag not to wear slippers, because slippers come off very easily, and you might come to carry them. They went out with Shabbos Biru in the town of Biru. So they said to them, you know it's coming already. Lo nagu kan lios metaylim b'kul kedil shel zar b'Shabbos. They don't use all kinds of slipper on Shabbos. Lo tzolem mutar kain. They didn't want to say it's mutar, and therefore they just took them off and shochu lohem kain el shochu b'yavdei, and they sent them home with their slaves. Now, they didn't continue wearing the slippers. Now.
So slaves carried it.
Slaves carried it. Okay, that there was no minhag about. That's halacha, right? The halacha is not minhag. So as we see, a minhag is stronger than halacha, right? Because a minhag, somebody is no exhaustor, even has no halachic basis, we're not matir neder for him. And the other minhag, which is only predicated on halachic assumption, which is erroneous, we are matir neder. So you see, minhag is much stronger than halacha. Okay? Says Gemara. The fishermen in Tveria, this is not just Pesach where there's vis-a-vis Malacha, where there's a smach in the turn not to Malacha or Pesach, but any minhag is very strenuous. Even Stam minhag, Kibul Aleim, such as Kibul Aleim Chemei Tveria, the fishermen in Tveria, Ugrusi Tzipori, and the legume grinders in Tzipori, and the Shushay Akum. They're like wheat grinders in Akko. They all makabel. Shloasos malacha b'chol hamoed. They went to malacha b'chol hamoed. That was their chumrah. Nicha grusei ditzpori dishushi Akko. I understand the grinders, because you can grind before Yontiv. It won't be so terrible. So why do any Yontiv? But chermei tveria ve'ena mati b'simchas harego. If they don't fish on Yontiv, play simchas harego. Where can we have our Jewish gefilte fish holidays? So how come they didn't fish on chol hamoed? It's about simchas harego. What kind of chumrah is this? So tzara b'chika, tzara michmars. They didn't use nets. They would use hooks, fishermen's hooks. Chika is a hook. They would use hook. Michmars is some other trap. It says when I feel came out, this you can't catch enough fish that way, right? It says when Rabbi Ami make alone. Rabbi Ami is to curse them. That they would diminish the Simcha Yontif by not fishing on Chol Hamoed. Alright, what happened was, Golami Makom Lamakom. Lamai said they all left Tveria. They probably, it was persecution. We haven't had before the persecution Tveria, so they moved north, right? They moved somewhere else. So they wanted to take away that minhag of not doing work on Chol Hamoed, right? Golam Makom Makom Bikshulach Zorben. So that's more, no. Didn't work. It's like this. The people of Mesha would not go on, they didn't go in the Mediterranean. So Bnei Moshe said they wouldn't go 3 days before Shabbos. But the Korbanei said they never went in the Mediterranean. Never. Either because of Sakana or because of Zionist reasons, not to leave Eretz Yisrael. And the Yamagoro is Chutz La'aretz. So they never went there. So they died. Asun Shail and the Rebbe. So the kids came And they asked Rebbe, Amrulay, I was saying to Nogush to the Farish B'Amagada, Ono Ma, are we bound by their minhag? It's like Yek is coming and asking, do we have to do what they still did in Frankfurt? Guess what he answered? Amrulay, so he said, Mikem Chnogu Ben Avosechem, Behisser, Al Tishana Minhag Avosechem, Noche Nefesh. Do not cancel your parents' minhag. Ask my Venadam Nishal Nitro. I don't say, can we be Matur Neder? Taman Mishan Nodru Nishal. That's the person who took the Neder can be Shoel. Bram Hacha Avosechem Nodru. You still have luck here, your fathers did it. Koshkini Mutar, so certainly let us be Matur Neder. We didn't take the Neder. Rabbi Chani said, Lo min hadar, lo min hadar. The truth is they could have been Matur Neder. But Rabbi Tamid, Rabbi Huda. Rabbi is the Tamid Rabbi Huda. Rabbi Huda Amar, Osl Farish B'Yamagodo. Rabbi Huda said, because of Zionist reasons, you're not allowed to go on the Yamagodo. He said, I can't allow you to leave Eretz Yisrael. How could I allow such a thing? So therefore, it was not Matur Neder for them.